Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. On this channel, we spend our time looking at fantasy of all sorts, from books to movies to video games, and applying the characters within into the tabletop game, Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Today, though, we're going to be looking at a core mechanic of D&D itself. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the race known as the Centaur. Centaurs are horse people. They're commonly seen in fiction and in fantasy. Human upper body with the horse lower body. And they have some pretty interesting abilities. Let's have a look-see how they would play in D&D. First of all, their ability score improvements. They get a +2 to their strength and a +1 to their wisdom. +2 to strength means you get a little shoehorned into being a martial class, but that's okay. +1 to wisdom is pretty handy. I give these an 8 out of 10 and a 6 out of 10, respectively. Your size is actually medium. This is something that a lot of people get confused about with centaurs. They think that they are horse-sized. They're not. They stand at the head like a normal person would, about 6 feet tall, and their horse body is actually much shorter than a normal horse, only standing about 4 feet tall at the back. So, as a medium creature, you can still ride a horse. It would look kind of like a small pony riding a full-sized horse, and it would look kind of weird, but it is possible to do. Small-sized creatures, like a halfling, could in theory ride a centaur, but medium-sized creatures cannot, because the centaur is a medium-sized creature. Still, being medium-sized is 10 out of 10 because it's the biggest that a creature can be. Also, their speed is 40 feet, meaning that they are one of the fastest player races, if not the fastest raw race in the entire game. This is great. 10 out of 10 for their speed. They get the charge ability. This means that if they spend 30 feet of movement during their turn, they can use their bonus action to do a hoof attack. This is okay. Weaponizing your bonus action, just because you're moving around the battlefield, can work real well for those, like, charge up and hit attacks. And it can be just a circle. You can be standing next to an enemy, attack them, do a loop, assuming that you don't want to get hit in the back. I suppose opportunity attacks could get you. But if you zip over to another enemy or just run on a circle, as long as you move 30 feet, you can use your bonus action to attack. Pretty good. 9 out of 10. You also have the power equine build. You have the horse body. You have a powerful build, meaning that you can act as one size larger when it comes to pushing and lifting things, or pulling things. However, you have a handicap. Because of your equine build, you can only climb at a quarter speed that you would normally climb when you would actually have to use half your speed to climb. Most people who don't have a climbing speed have to use double their speed, so you can only climb 15 feet if you can move 30. But the equine build reduces that down to a quarter, so even with the 40 feet of movement speed, centaurs can only climb 10 feet, which makes sense. They look like horses. It's hard to climb. This is an 8 out of 10 power, simply because the powerful build helps out, and climbing's not something that comes up super often. Oh, speaking of that bonus attack, they can use their hooves for their unarmed strike. This does 1d6 plus their strength mod in damage, which is phenomenal. Means they can basically, as long as they're not wielding a heavy weapon of some kind, or a long sword or whatever, their hooves do plenty of damage by themselves. I give this 9 out of 10. They also have the natural affinity power, which gives them an extra skill proficiency. 8 out of 10. They have a list of 4 they can choose from. And finally, their languages. They speak Common and Sylvan. Sylvan is a pretty good language to learn. I give this 9 out of 10. So Centaurs. Interesting race. Very fast. Bonus attacks. Hooves. Extra skill proficiencies. Not great climbers. But you wouldn't expect that. And still medium size. So they could, do all the normal things medium-sized creatures can. I give them 9 out of 10. They're pretty good. They have some clear weaknesses, and they get a little shoehorned with their strength ability score increase, but I'll be honest, I like them. I think that they're a very interesting race, and deserve a try. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more race reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.